Hi everyone, it's Pete from Easy Migrate in Perth, Western Australia. Today I want to talk to you about what happens when you have the unfortunate circumstance of having a visa refused. Onshore, that is, not so much offshore but onshore. Now it's a very traumatic experience for most people because the expectation is that when you lodge an application it's going to be approved, but that is sometimes not the case. So I just wanted to run you through a couple of things that has to happen in relation, or does happen in relation to a refusal. Now firstly, you or your agent will be given a thing called a decision record and a notification of refusal. Now sometimes those letters come together. There'll be notification of refusal and then the reasons that it's been refused. If you're in Australia, then of course you'll have an appeal against that decision, and that appeal is to the Administrative Appeals Tribunal, commonly called the AAT. Now when you are appealing, there are very strict time limits on lodging your appeal. You don't have to go into reams of submissions about why you should get the visa and the circumstances. You just need to give notice, and that's something that does confuse a lot of people. So firstly, let's look at the circumstance. You've opened up your IMI account, or you've received an email from your agent and it says, I'm sorry, your visa has been refused. Here's a copy of the decision. And you then have to make the decision whether to appeal or not appeal. Remember, if you have a current valid visa when your current application is refused, then you can still lodge applications when you're in Australia. But if you're on any sort of bridging visa, then there's very, very limited opportunities to lodge applications in Australia once you've had a visa refusal and you're on a bridging visa. So let's look at someone on a bridging visa and they've had a refusal. Firstly, if you don't appeal the decision, your bridging visa is going to expire either 28 or 35 days after the decision. And that's going to depend on when you actually lodged your application, because there had been changes. So you'll need to check with your representative on that. But when your visa then, if you don't appeal and your bridging visa expires, then you become what's called an unlawful non-resident, and you're liable for detention and being placed in a detention centre, which is not something I'd recommend to anybody. So let's say that you're going to appeal this decision. You need to get online, or your agent will get online and lodge your application through the Administrative Appeals portal. So we have our own link into that portal and we can lodge for you. Current government application on the 9th of April 2020 is $1,784, and you lodge that. You need to pay that fee at the time and you'll get a receipt back, and that actually keeps your bridging visa alive until such time as you get to the tribunal, and then the tribunal makes a decision on your application. Now, current processing time for appeals can range anything from 3 months to 3 years, and there's no real way to tell how long your appeal is going to take to come up. If it's a clear-cut case of, well, this is never going to succeed, maybe the tribunal will pick that up straight away and make a decision in the shorter term. However, I think it's unlikely that you're going to get a hearing date inside 3 months. The other thing you need to be aware of is that you're bound by very strict time limits on lodging this appeal. So you really only have 21 days. So if we use an example of getting the decision on the 31st of December, any year, doesn't matter, then you must have your notice of appeal lodged by the 21st of January. So your 21 days starts ticking the day after you get your decision, right? So the 21st of January, whatever. So that at least keeps you safe. It keeps your bridging visa safe. And importantly, if you had work rights before, that bridging visa will preserve your work rights and you'll be able to continue working. If you're on something like a visitor visa and you don't have work rights, then it's very, very difficult to get work rights unless you can show some financial distress. Maybe in this current climate with the coronavirus around, there might be some leniency given by immigration, but I really wouldn't want you to have your hopes up too much on that. So you've lodged your application, you've paid your $1,784. If you're using a representative, they will charge you a fee to do that paperwork for you. They've loaded their decision up, and then we sit there and wait. And you can, whatever time it takes, maybe 1.5, 2.5, 3 years, it doesn't matter. You just have to wait, and you'll hear nothing from anybody until such time as the tribunal picks up your application and says, okay, we're going to start processing this application. Please provide us with some information by such and such a date. And if the tribunal requests, then you are bound to respond. And if you don't, depending on the type of visa for which you've been refused, then you might find that you lose the right to have a hearing, and the tribunal can just go ahead and make a decision. And that's not what we want to see. Remembering, if you've been sponsored by a company and the company nomination has been refused, then your application will also be refused. And you know what that means? That means 2 appeals. That means 2 lots of $1,784. Now, if your application included your partner and children, then you don't have to pay the $1,784 for each person. It's one application. So I just want you to remember, very, very strict time limits on these things. And once you click over the time limit, it's almost an impossibility to drag that back and say, oh, sorry, we forgot, or my agent forgot to do it. It doesn't work like that. What the agent does is seen to be you. So any mistakes that happen are your mistakes, and you can't go blaming anybody else. So really, you need to know where you are in the state of play. If you're on appeal, or if you're coming up for a decision, you can ask your agent to share your application or the application with you, and then you'll be able to see all of the information that comes up on the website. So that's the rule. Keep yourself safe. Know where you stand in the whole process. Understand that there are strict timelines on what you need to be doing, and hopefully things will work out. If you need to contact us for any information, info@easymigrate.com. You can call us 08 9221 4888, and we do have a free consultation service, so it's not going to cost you any money to call us and get 10 or 20 minutes worth of consultation. Hope this has been useful to you.